Hello my wonderful people, I greet you all according to una time my people. Latest update on our election tribunal case my people. No be small matter o. How many judges wey wan decide dis case don come out say make lawyers stop to dey bribe dem with money. Say if dem no stop to use money bribe dem go come out mention their name, those people wey dey do am, to make sure say dey work for their favour. Say dem go come talk and come out. My people, make una watch dis update, make una share am, make many obedient see wetin dey happen for inside tribunal as we dey talk. So I no know wetin dey worry for some of all these lawyers. You get client, you see your client case, you say yes, you go fit defend am, then you don bring the case to court, and e left for court to decide wetin happen between these two people. Now you say you go defend your client, why e be say you no wan let those judge decide the case the way wey dem take see am? Why you come go dey bribe dem say make dem work for your client favour? My people, make una watch this video, make una share am, and if una know say yes, we go reclaim our mandate back, make una share this video, make many obedient see am, and don't forget, I love you all.
Senior advocate for that matter. So he knew his client didn't win the election, but he still took the case, hoping to bribe a judge. That's how they go around bribing judges, and they will turn around and claim, hey, I've been winning cases, I won this, I won that, not knowing they always bribe to win. Anyway, Honorable Justice Flora Ngozi Azinge of the Kano State National and State Assembly Elections Petition Tribunal revealed that a lawyer was trying to bribe her so that she would deliver justice in their favor. She condemned the action of the lawyers who go to the press to condemn judges that they take bribes, but they are the ones that always flash money in front of judges to bribe them. She said that she has a roof over her head, that no one should try to bribe her. One of the lawyers present in the courtroom where she made the revelation stood up and urged her to reveal the name of the lawyer in question. He cited a bribery situation in the past where they turned the case around and said that it was the judge that demanded the bribe. The Honorable Justice is the true reflection of what a judge should be. She should have gone further to name the SAN involved. Such a person should be derobed. He should not be on the bar. These are individuals who go around bribing judges and buying judgments. That's why when you listen to some of their laughable arguments in court, you'll be wondering which law school did this one attend? Who gave this one SAN? How can a lawyer argue that it was Tinubu's account that committed a crime, not him? How laughable. When the court that tried him in Chicago listed his name as the defendant, not the bank account. Is bank account human? Can a bank account commit crime? Can it remit money to another account? They make a mockery of the legal profession. They even go as far as outright lying in court, bringing fake witnesses. Just like what happened in Enugu Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. The PDP candidate and his lawyers brought a fake witness who claimed to be a staff of the SSS. Not just that the witness lied under oath, also he came to do a laughable job. How can he come to counter the NYSC? The NYSC is the only body that can prove if a discharge certificate is fake or not. But these people blatantly lied in court and tried to disprove the NYSC. You can imagine the impunity, the level these people can go. So it's obvious they are all banking on passing the buck under the table so that they can buy the judgment in their favor. It is unethical for a lawyer to defend someone who he knows that he is guilty. That's if he knows that someone committed a crime and he accepts to defend the person in court. It will be unethical for him to come to court and defend the person that he's not guilty of the crime when he knows that the person is guilty. It's very unethical. When a client walks into a lawyer's chamber seeking representation, the lawyer must interrogate the client very well. He must make sure he understands the case to know how to defend the client. If during the interrogation he finds out that the client is actually guilty, at that point he's supposed to advise the client to seek a deal, to plead guilty. If his client refuses the advice, he is supposed to decline representation. That's the normal thing. If he doesn't decline representation at that point, that means he has become an accomplice to the crime. The reason is very simple. When a lawyer is aware that his client is guilty and proceeds to defend him in court, that means they must fabricate something that will exonerate his client. Yes, once a lawyer does that, he's no longer just defending the client, he's also actively participating in committing a crime to exonerate the client. Unfortunately, this is what many lawyers are involved in. Corrupt politicians who can win elections seek corrupt lawyers, who now seek corrupt judges to buy justice in their favor. And when such a politician passes all these processes in order to get to office, you think he will care about anyone. No. He knows where his loyalty is. When he is contesting for an election, he knows he has to keep money to go to court. They will steal the election, take that money and buy the judgment, and that's the end. That's why nothing good will ever come from such a politician. Just like what is going on in the country today. They play our economy like Ludo, trial and error. Remove fuel subsidy today, float the naira today. Tomorrow, consider returning petrol subsidy, consider unfloating the naira. People who claim to know everything, well, he said, na statistics will go chop. We've seen, this is practical, that they don't know anything. They are empty. They can't handle economy. They can't handle insecurity. Look at what happened in Niger. How many casualties? So the issue is not saying it's my turn. Can you do the job? That's the most important thing. Even an ordinary security man manning a gate in a compound, if you cannot man that gate and prevent people from entering anyhow, Oga will sack you from the job. So what are we talking about? When people come to office through the back door, that's what you get. You can't see competent people trying to bribe their way to office or trying to bribe a judge when the person knows, hey, I want this. Why do I need to bribe someone? Do the right thing. That's the most important thing. If we cannot do the right thing in our country, then there's no hope. When you have many politicians who can't even prove their source of wealth, most of them all their life they've depended on government. They've either worked as civil servants, some of them didn't even look for jobs. They just came out from university because they know people in government, some agencies because they are their tribesmen. They just appoint them, give them letter of employment. They start working. Just like the former police IG, he's now contesting for Senate under APC. So you can imagine the transition from a policeman to a senator if he eventually wins. So this is the result. You don't get competent people in power. You cannot have a good result from incompetent people. People who have made their money, do you know their source of wealth? You know that this is what they did. They continue doing, they own social businesses. Such people are the people you hand over the management of the economy so that you can get the results because they have the experience. When you have people like Tinubu, what do you expect? You can't give what you don't have. It's simple. Imagine floating the naira. You can only float the naira when you have trillions of dollars in your reserve. Yes, that's the humongous amount you need to defend the naira. Anyone who walks into any bank and demands for BTA, the person should never be refused. He must be given the BTA. You want to pay for school fees abroad? Go to any bank, they will give you the dollars. But if you don't have the dollars in large quantity and you float it, that's the result. You see it going over to 1,000 per dollar. So why not solve the root cause of the falling naira? They can't solve it because they don't know how to. The only way to improve the value of the naira to the dollar is to stop importation. How do you stop importation when you don't manufacture the goods locally? Yes, that's the major question. Despite Nigeria being a huge crude oil exporter, we don't have a single working refinery. We import fuel to use in this country. So marketers are forced to buy the dollars from banks, from black market at an exorbitant rate to import fuel from Europe to Nigeria. If we are able to refine all our petrol locally, that alone can improve the value of the naira. This can be achieved within 1 year. How much does it cost to build a 10,000 barrels per day modular refinery? You can have many of them in their hundreds scattered around the Niger Delta where the crude oil is very close, so that they can refine the petrol locally and supply tankers who will supply marketers, and all the filling stations will be filled with locally refined fuel. That way, we save all the cost of importation, cost of duty, cost of taxes, and all sorts of things. And you can never say that it will remain at the same price per liter. It's not possible. The crude oil will be sold to them in naira. You can't be selling to them in dollars. When we want to sell crude oil to other countries, they pay us in dollars. But Nigerians that are willing to refine crude oil must pay for it in naira. That's our currency. That's how to boost your currency. So that is how it is done. When you achieve sufficiency in petrol refining, you still move over to other alternative fuels like CNG so that you can drive the cost of transportation down. The less money people expend on transportation, housing, food, and other expenses, the more money they are able to save. And you know what it means when the average worker has huge savings. The person can buy a home, he can buy a car, he can buy anything, he can go on holiday to any part of Nigeria. You boost your economy the more people have savings. So it's very easy to improve the value of the naira against the dollar. But the people who don't know how to do this are the very people that will do anything to get to power just to be called Mr. President. They don't have any experience in the private sector that they can use and say, yes, I've done this before, this is how you do it. Now, let's give you an update on the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Many have been asking, what is taking time? When is the judgment day? Why are the judges taking all this long? Is there anything we need to know? Is something passing under the table? You can't blame Nigerians for their lack of trust in the judiciary. A lot of instances are bound where they turn justice on its head, like the one of Lawan and Akpabio, where they didn't contest primaries but they ended up winning the elections, which is against the law anyway. And the one already said in this video where a lawyer tried to bribe an honorable justice. So they have the right to think that something else might be going on, but the truth is, the massive evidence before the Election Petition Tribunal judges is so massive that this is not something that they can just stand up and decide. Deliberations are not easy. And remember that there's a lot of questions that they need to answer. In fact, if we go through all the judges have to answer, that means it might be up to 50 questions. Was the non-compliance substantial to the extent that it affected the outcome of the election? What about the 25%? They need to answer that question, despite there being a judicial precedent. So there are a lot of things they need to do. The work is enormous on them, but they still have time. The 180 days to determine the petition will expire by second week of September. So they've not crossed that line. There's no need to be anxious. We need to keep an open mind. They will do justice to the petition. There's a lot of work they will need to do. Let's keep hope alive. Forget about the rumors flying around. Yes, sometimes rumors have some element of truth in them, but just treat them as rumors. Another thing to know is that the judges are under serious pressure. Not just the judges at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, but all judges handling all election petitions across the country. If a National Assembly candidate or State Assembly candidate is willing to bribe a judge, how much more a presidential candidate? So it's obvious that under intense pressure. Let's just keep hope alive with open mind till they deliver the judgment, like already said in many videos. With all the baggages Tinubu is facing, it will take a rewriting of the constitution, of the laws to exonerate him. Yes, that's how difficult it is to save him. The worst outcome from the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will be a rerun election, which won't still be fair to Nigerians, because before the judges will determine that the election was flawed in order to declare a rerun, they must have seen what APC and INEC did and who benefited from what they did. It is APC that benefited because they are the ones in power right now. So allowing them to participate in a rerun election will be a disservice to Nigerians. Also, it will be like rewarding someone who committed a crime. They rigged the election and benefited. So if they participate again, there's no guarantee that they will not repeat the same thing. Anyway, you can ask more questions if you have them so that we'll try and answer them in another video. Thanks for watching.